This is Mona Lisa Baseball. There was a Sharks and a Giants game today. Coming down the Caltrain to San Jose, I got the Sharks fans with me, and then going back SF, we had the Giants fans. Kind of fun to see that.
Man, I haven't had like ball game fever. I'm trying to think of the last time I was. Oh, I guess A's Stadium is its own feeling.
You can hear me?
It's season 6 of Mona Lisa Baseball, you guys, and we've had the off season. Did anything happen in the world since our last episode?
I can't think of anything.
You know, any world events that maybe we want to talk about? You know,
Thought this was a baseball show.
well, yeah, we had the World Baseball Classic.
That's true.
Yeah, it was a huge success, you guys. Huge success.
That's what I heard.
United States managed their stars into one of the dumbest losses I've ever seen. But we got to protect those stars.
You had said something to the tune of the manager is managing the game for Netflix. What did you really mean by
I don't think the U.S. was really concerned with winning the WBC. I think they were more concerned with preserving like pitchers' arms and leaving Kyle Schwarber in the lineup when he was not performing. I think it was more important that they produce the TV product. But that's not really what we're here to talk about today.
But you felt that. Well, we could get back to that later then.
Okay, you guys, we have the new rules for the 2026 season.
Give me the new rules.
We've got some new rules, and everyone knows we've got the ABS challenge, right? And we've explained how it works on the show a bunch of times. The way it works is if a catcher or a pitcher or a batter taps their hat within 2 seconds of the ball or strike being called by the umpire, they can appeal it to the robot. All major league stadiums now have 4 cameras installed, Hawkeye cameras that track the pitch. These are 300 FPS cameras.
They look over the whole plate. Tell me that this is a 3D space that we're checking the ball through.
Yeah. And what is the ABS strike zone, right? Okay. Traditionally, the strike zone was a 3D object projected up from the plate. The umpire would figure out where the guy's knees were, where his shoulders were, and he would figure out the strike zone based on those things. It was a 3D zone. The system they're using now uses a 2D strike zone because 2D is one less D that you have to think about.
And you know where that extra D is? They're giving it to us. We're getting that D.
Yeah.
Oh, well crafted.
Instead of looking at the batter's knees and his shoulders, that's too hard. We're not going to do that anymore. We're just going to measure the guy and see how tall he is, and then we're going to make up a strike zone based on the percentage of how tall he is, okay? It's going to be a certain percentage from his feet, certain percentage from his head. Tall guys have bigger strike zones. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. But now it works in a very precise way where your batting stance does not matter at all.
Whoa.
You can be Craig Counsell. You can get way deep. It doesn't matter. Your strike zone is based on how tall you are. Period.
Right.
Are we seeing guys stand up straighter now because they don't have to kind of make their zone look a certain way?
Find out that a lot of guys who on their baseball card last year said they were 6'1", we're finding out now they're 5'11". Look, you know, there's a lot of players that got exposed like, no, this is really important. We're going to go ahead and measure you with, you know, scientific instruments without your shoes on. That's going to be the number that we're going to base the automatic balls and strikes system on.
So you've got the player there in their stance, and the umpire's looking at that because it's in front of them to try to determine, was this pitch a strike? And then you've got this ostensibly different looking zone that they're measuring this off of.
Right.
So now we're going to see this immediate kind of juxtaposition of the human zone and the robot zone. They're not going to look the same. We're going to see this every game all the time.
Yeah, they're different zones.
How are they explaining this in the broadcast? Like, why are we supposed to?
Oh, this is great for baseball. We've been wondering what took them so long, you know, because everyone just gets so angry when the umpire gets it wrong. We want to get the call right.
Your anatomy doesn't really matter except for your height. Just like everything about it seems so backwards to me.
Well, you're not the only one. A lot of people are concerned that we're just trying to kind of show up umpires.
Oh, I got a question. Are you accepting of a called strike that didn't cross the plate? If a ball, we'll say, never touches the plate, but it could be really close, are you guys willing to call that a strike, or would you rather have that out of the game?
Okay.
If a ball never crossed the plate, is it ever prudent to call it a strike?
Yes, it is.
What makes you say that?
If you have a guy, he went cleats up in a second base, and he's talking shit in the after game interview, and complaining about umpires and he gets rung up on a ball that's a half inch off the plate, that's fine with me.
More new rules. More new rules.
All right. Only the catcher, the pitcher, and the batter can appeal this thing. They got to tap their hat within 2 seconds. The league is really concerned there's going to be cheating here. So we've actually got another rule I'll get to later because
Excellent.
they're worried about tipping batters off, using technology to know ahead of time whether or not this thing is a ball or strike and then do the appeal based on that. So you got 2 seconds. You tap your hat once. I think you're supposed to say something. And
Can you believe we're talking about baseball right now? We're talking about hat tapping.
It's so ticky-tacky. 2 seconds. You get 2 seconds.
Are we going to get a challenge 2.1 seconds? Like, are we getting that already? How are they measuring the 2 seconds exactly?
It's the umpire discretion at this point. At least the umpire still has a little control there. So within 2 seconds, they got to tap their hat and say, I challenge this. And then it goes to the Jumbotron, sponsored by T-Mobile. It takes 10 seconds or whatever, and everyone gets to see, how close the pitch was or not. If you're right, you get to keep the challenge. If you're wrong, you lose the challenge. You get 2 per game. If the game goes into extra innings, you get another 1 for every extra inning. Okay?
How exciting.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Pitcher throws a pitch. It's off the plate. It's called a strike. The batter taps his head in 2 seconds, and the umpire says, oh, you got a ball. And then the umpire probably looks a little bit of a fool, and then it happens again, next pitch, and the batter challenges, and again, next pitch, and the batter challenges. And now the umpire just looks like a complete clown there.
Yep.
I offer buffoon.
That happened in spring training. We had a guy appeal 4 pitches in a row, and he walked.
Wow.
Whereas he would have otherwise struck out. And everyone's like, fuck this umpire. Oh, this umpire doesn't know what he's... They were all so close. They were so close.
From here on out, whoever's on the show, so we're going to answer it first, and then I think whoever comes on the show in the future will also have to answer it. But I want some real answers. If you had to choose, you only get A or B. Those are your only options.
Binary choice.
Binary. You get current baseball rules or 20th century baseball rules. You have to choose. All right. You know my answer. A2, what's your answer?
Well, it doesn't matter what I think. It's what the TV networks.
It does matter. Answer the question, please.
I'll take the old version. Nick.
Okay. You're on record as saying that. All right.
Yep.
A15, get on the record. You only get to choose one. Which direction you going?
Every new iteration of the rule going forward is also included in this, in the one selection.
Or 20th century baseball rules.
I'll give you your A and B, but I got to walk through my thought process for a second.
That's fair.
In short, if we look at a long enough view and the rules get sufficiently bad, the league is going to fold. They don't want to fold. We have to hope that we're in this very muddy middle phase and that some of these rules are going to ultimately head in a direction that's much more palatable. And it's pretty clear that where we're at now is this is bullshit.
I don't know. Not hearing that very much.
But I think the league might actually be more likely to fold than to work in its own interests and create something that is lasting.
Oh, they think they're working in their own interests. And they've got data to prove it.
Right.
Oh, they think they're killing it right now. These guys are high-fiving each other all night long in the front office, dude. They got Netflix to buy up some games, and Netflix fumbled that, by the way. We can talk about that later.
I got to go with option A, 20th century baseball rules.
Okay, we're all on the record, so I would love to ask every guest moving forward that question.
Yeah.
Put them on the spot, make them answer it. Then we can move forward.
I would love for you to come up with a year where you're like, would you take the rules from this year, like the year before they did intentional walk where you just put the 4 fingers in the air?
Yeah. I want more new rules. Tell me the new rules.
We're going to talk a lot about the ABS challenge because it creates a lot of actual rules because they're worried about people cheating. They're really, really concerned that there was going to be
It's too good.
People in the dugout, people on the field tipping the batter saying like, dude, that was a ball, challenge it. They don't want that. They want to use on the spot judgment. You think about it, you're like, oh, of course. You want the batter just appeal based on how he feels right after the pitch. But like, are you really thinking that they're not going to find a way to cheat this eventually, even with 2 seconds? You know what I mean? Like, are you serious? So here's what they did. Number one, they're like, okay, if you're watching the game on TV, we're going to delay it 9 seconds. Number two, every single TV in the ballpark, including in the men's bathroom, will not have the box. Think about that. There's no boxes on the TVs in the stadium because they don't want people signaling to the batter whether or not that shit was a ball or a strike.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
This is where I actually know a guy who works at MLB, and he's like, dude, this shit was a nightmare. We got to like do a different feed here and here. And here's the biggest wrinkle. The broadcasters in the booth are like, we can't live without that box now. You've got to give us the box. So the broadcasters get the box on their TV, and that's the only TV in the entire stadium that has the box on it.
Please explain something to me. There's like this philosophical dissonance I do not understand here. Is the league's thought we want to get the calls right or not?
I think they want to have the most egregious wrong calls be corrected.
If you look at it like other sports, like pick basketball, for instance, all the coaches, they have the replay challenge. All the coaches have iPads that they can look at and they can try to verify what they think.
Yep.
And so what I'm not understanding is the forcing function in basketball is as soon as the next play, the ball's whistling for the next play or whatever, then you can't challenge anymore. Why not just let them quote unquote cheat? I thought we're trying to get the call right. Was like, why were you even doing this in the first place?
Like they want the players to tell the umpires they're wrong. They don't want a computer to tell the umpires they're wrong. I mean, that might sound kind of off, but basically it's like, we're not trying to go to the dugout, study it real quick, make a signal. It's more like, no, we want batter inbox to be, no, that was not a strike. You're wrong. You're wrong, Blue. You're wrong. What's extremely alarming to me is that this new wrinkle that's in the game is like, ooh, will he challenge? Will he not challenge? I don't know. Should he? Shouldn't he? And then the audience and the stands get to gather around and go, oh, what's the computer going to say? Yay or no? We're not getting excited about baseball action. We're getting excited about a new wrinkle of who's right and who's wrong. It's very odd. Is that what we need to be looking for in baseball, is new things to cheer about?
Is that what's happening?
They're going to do the slow boil. They're going to just change these rules just a little bit here, there, a little bit there and there. Have the robot ump, but you can only use them twice a game, maybe a little bit more if you're right. That's not a big change, but then I promise you this, and I've made this prediction a million fucking times.
Again,
They will go to 3 challenges, then they will have 1 per inning, then they will have 1 per batter, and then everything will be rolled by them, and that is how it will go.
yep. You're seeing the code like Matrix style.
I've never been more confident of any other prediction in my entire life.
It's a little terrifying.
Trust me, we are going to full robot umps. That is going to happen. This is my biggest fucking gripe with this shit. They have all the technology to do a 3D strike zone. These 300 FPS cameras can see the ball where it is from up above and then from either side. That is more than enough data to see the ball. They tested the 3D zone. They tested that. And they didn't think it resulted in, what's the word they used? It was aesthetically unpleasing to the crowd watching the game with the box. Fans didn't like it. Fans were like, oh, it didn't go through the box. They still called it a strike. Fans hated that because they think that the box is king. The box is king.
Wow.
Let me tell you another thing. Here's another thing. There's a lot of TV broadcasts that would show you like a little dot after the pitch where the ball landed within respect to the box, okay? They have to stop doing that because we don't want to piss people off.
That's quite a compromise.
Because we know that box is different from the ABS box. The broadcast box on the TV is different from the ABS. But we literally have 3 different strike zones now. We have the strike zone that the fans see, we have the strike zone that the umpire calls, and we have this ABS thing.
It's almost as if we're forgetting that there's a baseball game to be played.
No, technology is taking center stage, man.
Center stage at a baseball game.
Yeah.
Is it this or is it that? I don't know. Which one? A or B?
We got to find out what actually happened.
I don't know. Maybe you should bet on it.
So now you go to a baseball game and you're watching the pitcher throw to the catcher and the umpire there. And what you need to wait for while you're there at the game is for the umpire to then relay back to you with hand signals what he heard on a computer.
Oh, yeah.
They tested that. Nobody liked that. Nobody liked that at all. In fact, they had all these technical difficulties and like they were using a thing in the umpire's ear and it would fall out when he got sweaty. They switched to this thing that would vibrate on his wrist so that he could call the game, or she or they could call the game completely through the robot. but people didn't like that. So we have this hybrid situation, and we're going to probably live with it for a while until people get comfortable with the robot calling balls and strikes.
All right. Then we're going to need a prediction of what year is it 100% robot calls the strike zone? What year?
I'd love to hear your prediction first.
Oh, man. I don't see how they could hold out 10 more years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm feeling like it's 5 tops.
They're just going to creep it up. It's just going to creep up.
I'm going with 5 or less.
5 or less years before full robot ump?
100% robot ump.
Okay.
2030 robot ump for sure.
2030. Okay. You guys are both on the 5-year crowd. I'm going to go 10 years. I think it'll take longer.
I don't know, man. This seems to be ramping up.
Yeah, I mean, they keep changing rules. They made a couple new rules this year, too, that you're going to be interested in. So
I want to hear the goddamn 2026 new rules.
ABS is the biggest one.
Ah!
There's a lot of wrinkles there.
Wrinkle me this.
I mean, did you know that when you're pissing in the men's room, there's not going to be a box on the TV?
Finally, I've been begging for the abolishment of the box for 5 years. Begging to anyone who will listen. Can we get rid of this goddamn forsaken box? And everyone's like, I kind of like it. I kind of like it.
Yeah, I like it.
I kind of like it.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
More technology rules. Here we go. New rules. Broken pitch comm. Well, guess what? If it stops working, you burn a mound visit now. It's no longer a free timeout. They fixed the loophole. No more of that bullshit happening in the MLB. Like, my pitch comm's not working. Meanwhile, you're like looking over in the dugout getting signs,
Yellow card.
Yeah, you can't lie about that shit no more. Keep your batteries charged, MLB pitchers. Come on, you guys. Are you serious? You're seriously going to make a start and you're like, oh, yeah, I forgot to charge the battery. It's the second inning. It's like, come on, dude. Are you serious? If you claim your pitch comm is malfunctioning, that's going to burn a mound visit. You only get 4, by the way. That's also complicated because you get extra 1s and extra innings. The other new rule this year is that base coaches must, when the pitcher's on the rubber, before he releases the ball, they have to be in that chalk rectangle. Yeah.
Are you fucking
serious?
serious?
The base coaches, I mean, why even have that chalk if they don't have to stand there, right?
Damn.
I've been saying forever, just stop chalking that spot. No one's ever in there.
This isn't good. Oh, no.
The base coaches, they've been in the habit of standing way back. They say it's for safety. Other people say it's so that they can get a better read on the pitch, so that they can signal to the batter what's coming. This is why this rule's coming into play. The base coaches are saying, hey, man, we got to get back for safety. There's a lot of foul balls that might take our head off. And that's why they wear helmets now. So, yeah, those are the 3 new rules this year coming up, you guys. We got the ABS challenge. Everyone's talking about. We got broken pitch comm, and we got the base coach restrictions. So,
I would just love to see some sort of philosophy doc, or what is the set of principles that Major League Baseball is working from to make these decisions? Because it's so inconsistent. It's like, just the MLB approve of sign stealing? Is that a thing that they think is okay at this point or not?
they're trying to clamp down on it, but at the same time, they recognize that every fucking team does it. I think they just want the fans to not know about it.
Well, is it like the idea where if people are giving hand signs and the other team cracks the code, like Major League Baseball's like, that you did a wrong thing there. You should not have cracked the code.
Teams have been stealing signs for 100 years, man.
It's like, right? That just kind of was part of the thing. I remember we would practice figuring out how to steal the signs. That was like part of the practice.
I don't know.
If you get caught, you get the ball thrown at you. That's the trade-off.
Integrated in the game already. Yeah.
It was that Astros team that got caught cheating in such a blatant way that it caught the attention of everyone. Even non-baseball fans know the Astros cheated in that series, right? That's really bad for baseball. So I think this is a good faith attempt to try to clamp down on some of that kind of cheating.
Or it's better somehow for the betting public.
Yeah, the bettors hate this shit. They're going to go on Twitter and just, write a diatribe about how MLB just stole all the money they chose to bet.
Right.
Do you think the MLB thinks that the baseball is the best possible sport for gambling? That their track is, we're going to make this sport even more gambling friendly.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to mob up there.
Yeah.
A lot of the new money coming into baseball is from, the gambling sites.
200 different moments to bet on anything you want.
You go to any MLB stadium, they've got DraftKings. There's just any podcast about baseball except us is sponsored by one of these betting sites.
Have you guys ever gambled on a baseball game?
Never.
I can remember one bet I made. I remember it really well. And I was going to Tahoe and someone kicked in $200 and on the envelope he wrote for strippers or gambling only. And so I made it to the sports booth. Timmy was pitching against the Dodgers.
So someone gave you money to gamble. You went right to the sport desk, and there's nothing else you can do with that money except strippers.
Or strippers.
Right. I think you chose right.
And yeah, he got shellacked.
Well,
that's the only bet I can remember.
Now you can just bet in the futures market, will the first ABS challenge be overturned or not?
I got to talk about the base coach one more.
Yeah.
This one really, really is getting to me because it kind of means the least in the game, but what it represents is basically anti-freedom, the same way the anti-shift, where just clamping down on the game can't help it in its interest level. And it's just kind of one more freedom taken from the teams.
Yeah.
And they're sliding it in at such a perfect time where everyone's going to be like, who cares?
No, yeah, nobody cares about this rule.
When did the coaches' boxes come?
I would say over 100 years.
I would assume that when they were first added, that there was actually a rule where, hey, coaches can stand in here.
Who was the first third base coach who was just not at all in the box? Like,
not going to stand there.
The first guy who's like,
won't do it.
No one's enforcing this. I don't need to be there.
It probably started like that. It was a suggestion, and then people were like, wait, isn't it a rule?
Play baseball.
All right, I got to make this other point. So the umpire's job was to call the game, call a baseball game. He or she was sort of hosting the game. They might have a first, second, or third base ump, maybe umps in the outfield. They're calling a baseball game. Now, the plate is there to help them call their balls and strikes, but it's up to the umpire to call the game. So what an umpire's job is to watch the way the pitcher's pitching, watch the way the batter's batting, and they're encouraging action. You're taught to protect the plate. If something's close, we need to be swinging because that's action on the field. And so the umpire can call it in that way. It's like, get the bat off your shoulder. Let's go. Let's go. Once it becomes the plate is all knowing and it either did or didn't cross the plate, it's so limiting in what's available to you. And so instead of having any trust in the umpire and saying, I'm calling the balls and strikes, like whether it goes across the plate or not actually doesn't matter. It's I'm calling the baseball game. I need someone to agree with me. Greg Maddux 100% couldn't work on this system.
No.
Like I need someone to say, I hear what you're saying, and that's what I think too. I need someone else to say that.
The nibbler is dead. There's no more nibblers. You got to throw 100, and it's got to be in the box.
If Maddux was throwing 87 kind of close to the plate, people are going to be able to watch that in pretty good. And you go, no, that's off the plate. But if they're worried that the ump might call it a strike, they're going to swing the bat. That's action. People want action in baseball, yet they're making it so surgical in did it or didn't cross the plate, and it doesn't encourage action. We stop letting the ump call the game, and whether it crossed the plate really was, it didn't matter. It didn't matter if we saw it cross the plate or not. It was just the umpires calling the baseball game.
It was close enough in the context. The guy should have swung.
Yeah, it's strike 3. You could have hit that. Not did it actually or actually not. Well, let's go to the 1/8 of an inch cam.
We got to stop and wait for 10 seconds, 14 seconds, whatever it is. Everyone's got to look at the Jumbotron. Stop cheering for the strikeout. We got to check to see what really happened.
All right, guys, tell me, will attendance and ratings continue to go up this year? Let's hear it. Tell me what that crystal ball is saying.
What was the attendance increase over the past few years?
Marginal.
A2's been coming in with the stats. It's like
we've been creeping up since COVID every year.
2 to 10% a year, maybe.
And yet at the same time, we have like TV companies going bankrupt because no one's watching baseball. So we talk about the attendance numbers. We talk about the TV ratings numbers, which are very hard to characterize sometimes because these guys are not super transparent. But since COVID, things are going up slightly. And what's most important to understand is that the MLB people, they think what they're doing is working. They think they had a mandate to make a bunch of changes to like get more people, especially young people, watching the games. And they feel like they've been successful. But MLB teams are still being evaluated at like 1/3 the total value of an NBA team.
Really?
Yeah. So
Interesting.
you're not going to hear Jeff Besant talk about
No, we don't talk about him on this show.
how the growth is anemic, but you're going to hear a lot of people talking about how numbers are up, everything's working, the pace of play is better, the pitch clock has made baseball better. You're going to hear all that. And that's all I hear whenever I'm like, there's very few people talking on the internet about what we talk about. It's almost nobody. We're kind of like the lone voice of people who think that a lot of these new rules suck, most of them, in fact. The money they're getting from these betting website sponsorship deals is through the roof. They're drunk and they're high off this money.
At historic levels.
And imagine what that does to your psyche. You're like, dude, this is working. We're going to change as many fucking rules as we need to. It turns out that the history of the game doesn't matter. Traditions, records.
People actually didn't care.
That's not important anymore. That's not important anymore.
They actually didn't care.
We care about that. There's a lot of people that care about it. There's a lot of people that are just so in love with baseball that they'll put up with all kinds of...
You can hear me?
Kind of fun to see that.
Can you believe we're talking about baseball right now?
Wow.
You're rattled.
We can't live without that box now. You've got to give us the box.
How exciting.
I'll tell you right now, ABS Challenge will change the game in the most profound way that we've seen in a generation.